All right, guys, welcome back. We have Terrance Sanders here, the legend, the most electrifying man to ever touch the football. Mr. Sanders, Terrance, how you doing today? What's going down?
Oh man, I'm doing good. Thanks for having me, man. Thanks for having me, Vajon. Appreciate you being here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, I really appreciate you for coming on. It means a lot to me, and I know the people that listen, and to the old Spokane Shock fans that are out there. So before we get into all that good stuff, kind of give us a little intro on who Terrance Sanders is.
Oh man, like you said, man, I'm just the most electrifying man in America. Okay,
Come
okay.
on.
Maybe arena football, but nah, man, I'm just a man of many skills, many talents, man. Often imitated, never duplicated. I'm a humanitarian, man. I love to see people do good. I love to see people in their atmosphere. So anything I can do to help facilitate that, that's what I'm out here doing in the world, man.
Most definitely. Hey, for the people that don't know, and so for like my friends that are maybe in Denver now, or my friends in Portland that maybe didn't follow the Spokane Shock, when Terrence played, they called him the most electrifying man to ever touch a football. It wasn't a name that I like that he created. Like it was called by the media, called by everybody. So it's undisputable. It's undisputable. That's all I'm gonna say. Um, let's get into kind of those Spokane Shock days real quick. Kind of talk about just did you guys understand like what you guys were living in the moment and like just kind of how big you guys were?
I mean, we knew that there was no NFL team in our area, so a lot of our guys kind of gravitated there to kind of be that big spotlight. So if you look at a lot of arena teams, they're in cities competing with NFL teams and big sports markets. So Spokane was a small sports market, so we all kind of gravitated toward that and unified behind that. So we knew what we were doing was had the capacity to be real big, and Spokane had traditions, so everybody was aware of the traditions in Spokane.
Most definitely. Okay, so if for the people that if you maybe skip the intro or whatever, Terrence had 434.5 tackles, 36 INTs. He had over 10,000 kick return yards in AFL 1 and AFL 2 days. He was a four-time first team all arena football. when when you are first getting started, what is your thought about the arena football? How did you even perceive it? What did you think about it coming out of college?
Man, coming out of college, I was very familiar with arena football. Back in those days, we'd watch it on the TV. It came on ESPN and on ABC on what Saturdays and Sundays. We during the off seasons, like when they came on, like in March, the same season. So no big sport really going on, and they just had the market. So we were football players. We watched those games, and also I was experienced with it back when I was like 10. My uncle played it with Tampa Bay Storm for like 3 years, won three championships with them. So I used to go to the games and get gloves, and the same way kids did me, man. I was that same little kid, so that's why when I would see all those fans, I would do all those things because hey, I got gloves from George LaFrance and wristbands and sweaty towels and stuff. So
Most definitely. Hey, and I was telling you before this, my brother, who is a big fan of yours, he as soon as he watches this, Wayne, he has probably still has your poster up. Probably the 2012 poster that you're on, I think it is, that has
right,
the schedule and everything.
okay, I did a couple. I did a couple, man. I was on a couple
Yes,
posters.
yes. Okay, so maybe it was 2013 then maybe. I don't know. We had it up in our room with that whatever year that was and he still has it. I was just over at their house in August and he still has it up to this day. And I was like, "Oh yeah, Terrence is really the man." Okay. Before we
Don't
get too
lose.
far into it, there was always some rumors, okay? And if you don't want to answer this is totally fine. We can totally go right over this. There was some rumors back in the day that there were people, I won't say names, but like Rick
My
Schmobula and oh no, not you or anything. Rick Schmobula and maybe Radrian Ronell or somebody like that that was given money under the table. Did you ever know of anybody getting money under the table in the arena football days?
Hey, I put my hand on the Bible. Nah, I don't know anybody. I mean, it's a spoken of thing, but it's unspoken of. Like nobody ever sees any transaction. Nobody ever knows of any transactions of those natures. But all I can say for myself is, I wish I received some transactions of that nature. So, but nah,
Okay,
I don't.
okay. I was
I can't.
always told that like teams like San Jose paid players under the table to get them to come to San Jose. I wasn't sure if that was always true. They just always got all the good players. All of a sudden Eric Myers was gone, Adrian Turnell was gone, like just everybody went to San Jose, so that's why I had to ask that.
I mean, you hear that teams have a bonus payroll, a bonus salary they can do, but a lot of the times they were giving the quarterbacks the extra money just through the structure of the contracts already. But that's how you win in that league. So for them to get the extra money on top of that, hey, I can't be mad. Hey, just wish it was coming my way.
What made, I know we kind of touched on this a little bit in the beginning, but what made the Spokane Shock like just so great? What made you guys so great?
I mean, the tradition, man. Spokane had tradition and everybody knew about it. It was preached upon, harped upon, uh, practiced upon. We practiced at a high level, iron sharpens iron. So basically, the only teams that was really beating us or capable of beating us throughout the whole league was in our own division, San Jose and Arizona. So, like anybody else, oh, you in trouble. So, I mean, it just was a good tradition, and we kept coaches that knew the tradition, kept that going. So it's like once, like Duke basketball, after Krzyzewski left, you're gonna hire a Duke guy, like they kept the tradition going, so it didn't have to bring in some outsider.
Okay, give me your top three teammates as a Spokane Shock player, and then give me three that were non-Spokane Shock players that you had.
You want me to rule people out and
Well, I
include
mean,
people?
if you want to give me five, you can give me five.
Nah, man. You
Because I
said
know
three.
you played with some studs. You played with some studs. But you
Man.
see, okay, I put you on
What,
that Mount Rushmore. So, like,
but what am I basing it on? Am I basing it on Mount Rushmore? Am I basing it on what I'm basing it on?
will you base it on whatever you want to base it on? This is your podcast.
All right. Well, it's your podcast, but hey, this is my episode. So, my three teams
There you go.
going with Reron Renell, Adrian Tennell. I will go Terrence Moore, and then I'm gonna go James Ruffin.
James Ruffin, okay, I like that. Okay, and Terrence Moore, those are some good ones. Okay, I was telling my brother this a couple days ago. I put you on that Mount Rushmore, and the fact that you're on like the top three, I put you in that top three of like players to ever play on the Spokane Shock, and like you were like just to harp on this again, like you were a defensive back, like you were a safety. Was that correct?
Uh,
What would you?
Played all over there, man, and then
Exactly, cornerback. Yeah, that is very true.
put
The
me in the
what
second.
you did was so special because at that time the arena football was all about high-powered offenses and just scoring as many points as possible, and just that's what fans wanted to see. And so, just the fact that you made that impact was just really amazing.
Yeah, man, we put the focus on defense, man. Like even when I used to play against Spokane, they always had defense. Like the offense would be sometimes we stopped that offense, but we couldn't ever do nothing on a dang defense. So we could never like build a lead on them ever. Like we get like one touchdown, they tied up. So their defense was always harped on, man.
What was your favorite Spokane memory that was non-football?
Favorite Spokane memory, non-football. Wow. Um, my favorite non-football memory, I had my family up there. I know one day we was just walking through the park. I was injured. I had a cast on my hand, Spokane Shock T-shirt, and I ran into a photographer at like the downtown park. And she was like, "Oh, you guys are so beautiful. I want to take your picture." She just snapped our pictures right there. So that was nice, man. But another one was we did a football camp at like West Valley High, man, and we did that for like 2 days, and that was a fun one, man. We had a lot of kids show up, and we split up teams, and at the end they played, and that was good. It was some good little football players out there. So some of them probably adults now.
Okay, before we get too far off this, what did a day in the life of Terrance Sanders when you're getting ready for a game for the Spokane Shock? What did it look like?
Hey man, see, my secret was first thing I'm gonna do when I wake up is I'm gonna turn on film. I'm gonna turn the film on early in the morning. Then I'm gonna cook some breakfast. Then I'm gonna uh, lay down, take a nap. But before I do that, I'm watching more film, a second film study. And then if they're a tough opponent, I might get a third film study in right before I leave to go to the game. But just a lot of film study, man, a lot of relaxation, just a prepping, just visualizing, visualization, seeing myself make the play, see myself being successful, see myself in that end zone off of a kick return. So, and then when it happens, it was like, oh, I already seen that this morning or whatever. So kind of visualize it. And if it comes to me, try to make that play.
Okay, so if you don't remember, this is totally fine. Okay, so you had a pick six against Portland, I believe it was, and you came back to the corner of the end zone and you handed the ball to one of the opposing players. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember
What?
that.
Okay, what did he say to you before? Do you even remember what he said to you before the game, or
What?
was it something that was like chirping during the game? What happened?
How do you even know that, bro?
I know everything. You got to remember, I worked there forever. I have the It's funny. The highlight's gonna be in there.
Yeah,
The highlight will be in the cuts before this.
I don't know how you know that, but no, that guy is Sony Varma. He played with us in Spokane the year before that.
Oh, okay, okay.
Played with us for a couple years. I mean, for a couple games, and we ended up trading him. We were trying to hold on to him, but we had too many good DBs. So, and he was a good player, so we had to trade him, and he went to somewhere else, and then he landed in Portland. And so once he got there, I was like, "Yeah, this how you do it, young buck." Like, good. He's just laugh, and I got a penalty on that one.
I felt like he said something to you before. I was wondering if he said something to you before, or if there was like some chirping on the field, because you just came straight to him and like it was just perfect. It was just perfect. It was a perfect celebration.
He was just the first face that I seen over there because I mean, they were talking though. Their team was talking like, "Oh, we gonna beat you." They always talk, man. It was their inaugural year, and they said they was gonna beat us every game, and they actually came close that game right there. But we got them.
Who was? Give me three players that you played with in the arena football. It could be at any time that you thought should have been in the NFL that didn't get the chance,
Okay, look at you. Or maybe they did get the chance. You
or
know,
maybe they did get the chance, and they just didn't stick up there at that level.
yeah. You saying my teammates or just period?
Just period. Anybody that you've seen at the arena, it's your arena time from 2 to 1.
I mean, one player I liked Kamar Jordan. Kamar Jordan, you
Oh,
don't know Kamar. Kamar went to Canadian Football League. If he would have stayed with us, we would have won the Arena Bowl, but he left like 2 games before the season ended. He played like 14 of the games and then he left. And we had to bring in some other receivers. But man, he was dynamic, man. He was tough to guard in practice. I'm like, dude, this dude beat me in practice. Like they ain't beating me too often in practice, but a guy that can do it at a level and the rate that he was giving me problems, he should have been in the NFL, but he went to Canadian. Um, Joe Hills from Tampa Bay Storm, we had him out in Spokane. He's from my hometown, so hey, iron going against iron. He had like 5 touchdowns on us one game, but just the range that he has to catch the dang ball, he can catch the ball anywhere around him. So it was always hard to guard him. And I would say Rod Windsor, Rod Windsor from Arizona.
Rod, yeah.
Rod the guy, man. That's my guy, man. When I played with Arizona, he was my roommate and stuff on the trips and things. So, I mean, Rod the guy, man. He's a good guy. Hey, he work hard and hey, he got talent, man. He gonna catch everything, everything in his area. He not gonna drop nothing. So, those three guys will be who I say.
What are your thoughts on the new arena football, just like landscape of like kind of just like the teams that dropped out, like this a new arena league? Are you a fan of it? Are you not a fan of it? What are your thoughts on it?
Man, I don't even know the teams in there, man. Like, they banned and disband and dismember so many times, man. It's kind of hard to follow and keep up with nowadays. So I don't even know who's playing what leagues. I just kind of follow some of my old players, old teammates and stuff. I see some of them coaching. I just kind of follow those guys, whatever league they're in. They all different leagues, former coaches. So I just more so follow the coaches and the ex players more than the teams and the leagues now, man, because I don't know what's out there.
Most definitely. There's a lot of different leagues. I there's just a lot of new, like especially like the new Arena Football League. I know they played their championship game in a mall, and there was a lot of people that did not like that, and there was a lot of people that did like that. And so obviously I'm a fan of the Arena Football. I want all of those because those are more opportunities for other people to shine and show what they have, and I love that. Let's kind of transition into what you're doing now. Let's kind of talk about your podcast.
Yes, sir.
Uh, yeah, kind of explain to everybody what your goal is to like what you're trying to get across to everybody and kind of what you're doing as well.
All right. Well, for starters, I was on TikTok. I started everything on TikTok, so I grew a big fan base on there rather quickly, and met a guy. He was like, and met a girl. They were like, podcast, podcast. I'm like, dude, I don't know the first thing about a podcast, man. I don't know the first thing. I watch a couple, but they're on video. Like no, you got to pre-record it. So I just went in and learned everything from basically the guy, and then I seconded everything that I had questions about from him to the girl, and then I created Sands and Friends podcast. So what I'm doing over there, I'm eventually gonna kind of take some of the originally why I started is because I wanted a platform where I could speak more openly without the community guidelines of TikTok. But to start off, I said I'm gonna do what comes natural to me, and that's sports. And I've been running sports shows right now and highlighting former players. But eventually, I want to get guests on of all sorts and just kind of talk about what they have going on and how we can make this place better, make the world better, and give people different opportunities to succeed in life because it's more than just football and sports as a way to succeed. And that's kind of what I really want to get across. But I play sports, so I love sports, man.
Most definitely. That's a great I kind of want to talk about that real quick. Let's talk about your transition from sports into like just like the different things that you've interweaved yourself into now. What was that like when you first stopped playing sports after you did it for, I mean, your first, what, 30 something years of your life? Like, what was the transition like?
And I played football for 25 years of my life. So
25 years.
from age 7 to 32, 33, I was done at like 33. That year I turned 33. So, but yeah, 25 years, man, it becomes second nature, It kind of becomes you gotta have an outside focus out of that. My message would be now to always have some outside focus of the sport that you're in because it's not gonna last always. Yeah, they say that, and you think you're gonna play forever. I thought I wanted to die on that field, but I broke my arm, and I'm like, yeah, that's too painful. So hey, it's time to focus on something. And I wish I had done business ventures while I was playing, but the transition, I just knew I wanted to be a businessman. I knew I wanted to start business and I knew I had a lot of connections. So I've been trying to tie in the connections with the business. That's what I've been working on. I had a good cleaning company, but then I moved to Chicago. So it was a transition, man. The transition ain't easy, man, when that's basically all you know. So it doesn't really have much transferable skills, but it has that camaraderie and built part of a team and a competitive edge. So
Mhm.
a lot of times I've been in sales. So
No, that's a great
sales
place to.
sales kind of offers that competitive edge to kind of wean you back into the real world and keep a little bit of money in your pocket.
That competitive factor. I could definitely see you in the sales realm. That would be, could definitely see you succeeding in. Who are some of your biggest influences in life?
I mean, in life, I mean, basically just my family, man. My family, big influences. You know, I come from a tough family. My uncle played in the NFL for 2 years, then played arena football. So just having these guys that everybody look up to my uncle. He won the first state championship here. So just when I'm riding around with him and you see him garner all this respect, and he played football at college with Terrance Sanders. It's just like, okay, you don't want to let down that family name. And then, hey, my brother's athletic, my sister's athletic. Like, it's just all in my family. So it's like that was my major influence, man. Never to let them down. To always make sure that they proud of the Sanders that I am, and that, hey, they never gonna be able to be like, you sorry.
Most definitely. Okay, well, so that was going to kind of lead into my next question. You might have maybe just answered it, but I'm going to still ask it anyway because I think it's a very important question. What is your why?
My why is my kids, man. I got my daughter. Most people know my daughter out in Spokane. I had her in a couple interviews and did on a couple TV reports with Oso, Special Agent Oso. He came to my house and shot
Yeah.
man. So most people know my daughter, but I just had a son. He's 10 months old, man. So I got me a little son. He'll eventually be a football player and a great athlete, but I want to let him know that, hey, that ain't the only way to make it in the world. So that's my why, man. Just to be there for those kids, man. Because, hey, I had a great life, I had a great run, but now it's time to get them the things they need to succeed. So.
When someone said something maybe negative about you or you heard something in the media, how did you feel about it? And maybe when you've seen those media members, like how do you feel about them? Do you speak on those situations? Um, I'll leave the floor to you.
Nah, man. I mean, it all depends. Usually your hometown writers and papers ain't gonna say too much bad about you, you know. They ain't gonna really say nothing bad about you because they never know when they're gonna have to come back to the well. So as long as you keep it professional and you keep it cordial, you're not disrespectful or rude, they pretty much gonna respect you, you know. You might get some sound bites or something from another team. If I ever hear anybody else talking, man, that just like my fire just 10 times higher. Like, yeah, that's how you feel. So I was always interested in, like, dude, am I on you guys scouting reports? I always wonder what the other team thought about me. Like, am I on you guys scouting report? Like, do you got to stop me or whatever? But don't say any quotes. But I never really found that stuff, man. I'm always focused on me, man. Like, all I can control is what I can control, you know. I can't do the quarterback's job. I can't do nobody else's job. So all I can do is just my job to the best of my ability to get us the win, and that's what I focused on. So the words never really mattered too much.
Okay, I kind of fast forwarded through this. I want to make sure I get this in. When you are watching film, what in particular are you looking for? Are you looking at the quarterback? Are you looking at the line? What in particular are you normally looking at?
And you want my secret sauce? You want my secret
No,
formula?
no, I just want maybe just one gem in there, like.
You're asking for the Krabby Patty formula right now, man. Now, see
Okay,
how I would
okay,
do
give
it.
me okay, maybe what is a defender thinking about when he turns what should a defender be thinking about? A young defender when he turns on film. What should they be thinking about?
All right. First thing you got to know when you turn that film on and you look at the first play, you got to look at the ball placement. What hash is the ball on? You got to break that down first. Next thing you got to look at what down and distance is. What down and distance is. So I would break it down into we had a thing where we can break it down to only watch first downs or only watch fourth downs or only watch specific downs. Coaches probably have access to these materials. Students probably have access to this. Back in college, they used to break it down for us and tell us, hey, you better watch the first down, you better watch the second and longs, you better watch the third and shorts and the third and longs, and these are their fourth down plays. So we get all of that information. I got to arena and we started watching the film watching the hash, watching the down and distance, and drawing their actual plays out. Like, oh, so now I can look at it. Oh, this what they run in the whole first quarter. This what they run in the second quarter. Oh, this what they run in the third. This what they run in the fourth. Oh, this what they run in crunch time when they need a first down. They're gonna go to this place. So guess what? I'm knowing these things, so I'm gonna make those plays when I see the formation even. So that's how good I was, man. But you got to process all of those things, man. You looking at the stance of the wide receiver. You looking at how he comes off the ball when he's running hard. Is he running hard? Is he running slow? I'm paying attention to all that. How many steps the quarterback take before he throw the ball? It's a lot that goes into it, man. You don't just show up and be great. You got to put
Are
that work.
you able to watch games now, or do you still watch them in a football mindset? How do you partake in games?
Nah, man. I try my best to be a fan, but the analytics is coming at me just oh, he's running the hitch, he's running the corner. Oh, I told you. I call out plays like Tony Romo kind of before they even happen. Like up in the booth, like, oh, I already know this finna be yeah. So it's kind of hard to watch it from a fan aspect, but I try my hardest, but that fire still burn. Like I can stop that, dude. So
What is a no-no on the defensive side? What is something that like maybe you could make one time, but if you make it twice, it's absolute like it's dunzo.
Uh, the best advice, I'm gonna go back to high school where I learned this, and I took it with me all the way through my career. My high school coach implanted this in me. He said, "Don't get beat deep."
Drill it
don't,
in.
don't get beat deep. Hey, and I never let nobody. I don't let people catch no bombs on me like that. Ain't no one play and done. You're gonna have to line it up again.
Swear. Okay, that's a good one. Okay. If you could go back and give yourself maybe one or two pieces of advice, what would it be?
I said one earlier. I said I would go back and give myself the advice from being a pro. While you're buzzing and while your name's hot, hey, that's the time you should have started your business. I probably would have been running a workout facility or something like that, like Tanel back in those days. That was my first business. And then I would go back and say, hey, don't even, you know what? Don't even transfer high schools that senior year. Stay at your school, play that season out, and see what happens after that. That's what I would go back and change.
Those are some good ones. Those are some good ones. Adrian Turnell is on my Mount Rushmore of players. I don't know if I don't know how people would feel about that, but I absolutely I
You want
really like Adrian.
you, my Spokane Mount Rushmore? Nick da- Nick Davila, Raul V. Hill,
Yeah, okay. I've already changed. Okay, keep going.
Sergio Gilliam, Stan Franks, and not Corey Dillon. What was Dillon? Charles Dillon? I forget Dillon's name, but Dillon, man, Dillon was a
Yeah.
dog. Dillon
Um,
was a dog, bro. Dillon was tough to handle, bro.
are you talking about the wide receiver?
The wide receiver,
So
Dillon.
he came back and played for the Empire later on. I don't know if you he was uh, when I worked with the Empire. I believe he came back. If I remember, it could have maybe it was Charles. Maybe it was I could be thinking of somebody else, but
I think it's Charles Dillon. I think it's Charles Dillon, but man, he
now
was
I'm
a
gonna have
beast.
to look this. I'm gonna look this up afterwards, and I'll have more, of course.
Charles Dillon, he a beast.
Raul, I forgot about Raul Vigil. He's gonna watch this. Okay. I'm Raul. I just want to say this. I'm sorry, my guy. Like, I forgot, bro, but I should not have forgot about you. I,
No,
I don't know who I'm gonna knock down. Now I need a Mount Rushmore of five.
hey, you can't forget about V Hill. I can't, cause hey, that boy was tough too, man. That man was the first
Okay. What is it like to guard him?
man. You better have your hips. You better have your hips low, your knees bent. And you better have a good base because man, that man was shaking us out of our shoes. I'm like, dude, I was finna hit him, bro, but y'all missing the tackles, bro. Like, y'all just let me hit him. But nah, he was tough, man. That man was like, choo 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 choo, out of there. Like, bro, who is this guy, bro? Yeah, he was skiing on us, man.
That is a good. Okay, I'm sorry, Adrian. You might be the second now, bro, because I forgot about Raul V Hill. He is the goat. He is the goat. But I'm glad you brought that up.
He-
I got a couple more for you, and then I'll let you go. I don't want to take
yes,
too
sir.
much of your time. What is your definition of success?
Oh man, success. I mean, it used to be back in the day. A lot of things changing for me, man. Since I hit 40, I'm 40. I'll be 41 this year. So since I turned 40, I've been looking back at a lot of things and reanalyzing. So some things no longer serve me anymore, and they kind of changed. But back then, my definition of success was preparation meeting opportunity. Once you're prepared for the opportunity, you're gonna be successful for it. You just primed yourself for success. You planned so you don't fail. But now I would say things are about precision. And
Precision.
that's about speed, efficiency, and timing to me. Like you want to do it quickly, but you want to do it efficiently, or else you're gonna be doing it again, and that's not speed. That take away the speed. And now you're doing everything at the right time. Now, bang, that's when you're gonna be success. That's when I feel like success gonna hit right then. But you
Precision. I
gotta
like that.
you gotta know yourself to know what you're good at and all those things too as well. You gotta know what tools you need. It's a lot go into that. So but I'm liking precision right now.
I absolutely love that answer. The thing I always this is like one of the few questions that I ask everybody because I think it's a very important question. And precision. That was the first time I've got that one, and I really like that. And preparation meets opportunity. I believe in that
Oh,
100%, and
oh,
I love that. Okay, what can people expect out of you in the coming? Where can we find you at? And yeah,
all right. I got a YouTube, Sands and Friends podcast on YouTube. You get the video cuts of my podcast. I got the podcast on Apple Podcasts and Spotify Podcasts, Sands and Friends. So you can find me on there. I'm on TikTok. On there, I got a different name, Sands of Time Coaching on TikTok. But everywhere else, man, I just use my regular name, Terrance Sanders. So Facebook, they can find
do
me any.
you do you have anything coming up? Maybe like any episodes that you like have coming up that you think are going to be really good for this Halloween time?
Nah, I don't really have any episodes like that. Like I
Okay.
said, my main deal is nailing the sports. I want to get that season under my belt, the football season under my belt, and then I'm gonna start expanding from there. So, as far as for Halloween, I don't have anything special for that. It's just gonna keep pumping, man. I'm just gonna keep pumping, keep churning, and getting better, and then eventually figure out how to get some guests in there.
Most definitely. Hey, this is going to be the first step. Definitely reach out to Terrence. I absolutely love what he's got going on over there. I love when people they start their own thing, and I think that's very important. And I think you are the perfect person to have a podcast and talk about sports because knowledge is just so wealth. I really appreciate you though, Terrence. Thank you for coming on the podcast today. It really means a lot.
Hey man, appreciate you having me, man. Hey, I appreciate you, man. You used to be around there with the shock with us, man. So
Yes,
we gotta
sir.
gotta take care of our young, man. We gotta make sure you're good, man. And it's
Eh,
good to see good things and big things moving on up, man.
I appreciate you. As I told you earlier, the Spokane Shock is how I got my start. So the love and the compassion, I still talk. Like I'm just talking to Jarrett Brown. Do you remember Jarrett Brown? Did you ever
Yeah,
meet Jarrett
JB,
Brown? Yeah, Jay. I
man.
was just talking to JB like 2 weeks ago. Like I love that you guys are just
Yeah,
you guys have never like no matter whatever heights that you guys have went to, you guys have always just been humble and been always remembered who I was and things like that. And I just really appreciate you guys
hey
and
man,
you.
that's the Florida boys, man. We Florida
Come
boys,
on.
man. We love everybody. We love everybody too.
You know. Hey, Terrance, we have Terrance Sanders with us today. I really appreciate you and thank you.
Hey, appreciate you being here, man, having me here, and I appreciate being here, man. You have a blessed one, brother.
Yes, sir.